pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Should I go ahead and do the roll call number to them?
That's
Or
what I
give them
do.
person? What do you think?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you should just do it.
yes, so he can be,
Point to the seat council.
yes.
Roll call?
Roll call first.
Yeah.
Rob?
Yep.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce? Yep. Linda?
Yes.
Okay, then I go ahead and swear on Gilbert.
Okay.
I'm gonna repeat after me.
Sir.
Raise your right hand.
Raise your right hand up there. I, Gilberto Rogers Jr., do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
I,
Repeat after me.
Gilberto Rojas Jr., do solemnly swear to support the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and of this state and the ordinance of a municipal corporation,
and of this state of an ordinance of municipal
Municipal
corporation,
corporation.
that I will not be influenced
that I will not be influenced
by any considered excerpt that of merit and of fitness in the appointment or discharge of employees.
and you're gonna have to go on that one.
Okay.
I will not be influenced
By any consideration
by any consideration
except that of merit
that of merit
and fitness in the appointment
and fitness of employment
or discharge of employees,
or discharge of employees,
that I will not make or authorize
that I will not make or authorize
expenditures of public money
expenditures of public money
otherwise than for adequate consideration
otherwise for an adequate consideration.
and efficient service to the municipal corporation,
I'm sorry,
Inefficient.
inefficient
service to the municipal
service
municipal
to
corporation.
the municipal corporation.
I will faithfully,
I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially,
and impartially,
in all other respects,
in all the respects,
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as council person
as council person
during my continuance,
during my
Therein.
continuance therein,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Okay. I'll sign it, I'm gonna sign this, and I'll sign it.
Yes.
Get a pen here, I just sign here, then we gotta have Mike notarize it,
With your signature.
right here where your name's at.
You want to come up, Mike, and
Yeah.
notarize?
I'll have Mike come up and we'll notarize it, so it's all legal.
Yeah.
Okay.
mhm.
I think that was the part I was nervous.
We're all nervous.
Yeah, this is Scott's first time too.
The blue one's
Days,
better.
this is
The blue one's better.
It's Pete's name.
I think, yeah, it-
Well, it's
Yeah.
yeah. Say
yeah,
that, say that.
definitely.
Like that.
I make you legal.
We're trying to get better at all this stuff and understanding these things.
So do you go by Gilbert?
Yes.
Here's one.
I'll be out of here.
Almost got stabbed.
Maybe I'll need one of yours.
Here.
Grab one out of the pin in my case.
Just like the president, he has to use 12 pens. Look at that.
Oh, my anniversary, Mike.
Is
It
it?
expires on my
That's when
anniversary.
I'm gonna retire from it.
Oh, you are? September the
You got it.
You got
16th.
anything here?
No, you can do a stamping on there.
He's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're hooked.
Yeah, you're
All right,
legal
I'm in.
for 4 years.
I'm
Let me get
in.
his hands right now, so I don't
Am I
lose
gonna
it.
be back here in a little bit?
You got, does he got a, you still need him? Yeah?
No, I think that's all we need to do for the night. I mean, you can say
That's
if he
it?
wants to.
Oh,
Is
If you
it?
don't like this.
oh, I thought you
Feeling
had.
unwanted.
I've been looking all day for this thing. We got 3 rooms in our back room today. We're living in the back room, that's everything's in there.
Oh, really? Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness.
You doing remodeling?
Now we're gonna get a new floor, hopefully. I can do it.
Okay, Gilberto, here's your first, okay.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You need a sign there. Okay. In there. And
Up there at the top.
It's only a 30-year mortgage. so-
That's it, I got it, I'm in.
it's okay.
There's no more coming
Pass
back.
them
You ready to
over.
find print?
Okay, then.
Then I have to sign
Is that that little stuff on the bottom?
Yeah. You're buying supper for everybody today.
Yeah.
It's already in.
Thank you.
Everybody likes Little Caesar's pizza, we're good.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, we need approval of the videos and written minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the video and written minutes.
I'll second it.
Linda,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yep.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Okay, discussion and approval of financial reports. Bob, can you
Yeah.
present that?
Sure.
We'll get organized tonight.
It's okay.
All right, starting receipts, $1,746,783.45. Receipts was $87,351.29. Payments was
They got that
$47,518.
complimentary
10
bits.
cents for the balance of $1,786,664. Carried it forward to 12/31. Outstanding payments was $43,0991 for a balance of $1,786,616.64. Any questions on that?
Motion to
Okay,
approve.
I'll make the motion to approve the financial reports.
I'll second it.
Joyce,
Yeah.
Bill,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Linda.
Yes.
And I guess we have a time for a special guest, Terry Pitt.
Thank you. Thank you for the time, and I won't give you a big, long political speech. I'm gonna stand over here so everybody, these folks can see me too. They don't gotta look at the back of my ugly head. But I am running for, by the way, if you do not find where Vetsville is,
Yeah, I saw it.
6 down,
Yeah.
4 over, 5 backwards. But I'm running for state representative, and just tell you a little bit about who I am. Just give you a little background. I'm a pastor. I pastor the Fremont Baptist Temple in Fremont, Ohio. I live in the small town of Vickery. How many of you know where Vickery is? Probably everybody knows where Vickery is. And so that's where I live. I tell people I live in Fremont, I sleep in Vickery, because I'm in Fremont more than I'm at home. But I've been pastoring there for 13 years, and I've been engaged in the political process because I believe that if good, Edmund Burke said, all that is necessary for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. And so I admire everyone at Gilbert. Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you,
awesome.
thank you.
We need good people stepping up, being a part of it, whether it's, right here in the city level, the village level, or state representative. And so several years I stepped up. I actually ran for Sandusky County Commissioner. Did not win that, but it was a great experience for me, and it taught me a lot. And from that point on, became a vacancy shortly after that on the Republican State Central Committee, and I was asked if I would consider that position. And that covers 7 counties: Sandusky, Seneca, Wyandotte, Marion, Crawford, Morrow, and Union counties. So it's the Senate District 26. And so I put in for that. We had 3 weeks to really earn the approval of the 7 different counties. They would make a recommendation to the party, and I won 6 out of the 7 counties.
Yep.
And so I've been serving on the Central Committee for 3 years. Doing that. Soon after I did that, Josh Mandel asked me if I would be a part of his faith coalition when he was running for United States Senate. So I did that until Josh dropped out because his wife was sick. And I told Josh, I said, as much as I'd like to see you be our senator, you did the right thing because family always comes first. And I always try to do that. As soon as I'm out of here, as soon as we're done here tonight, I'm heading over to watch my son's basketball game. But I wanted, you guys are important. And that's one of the things as a pastor that I think I bring with me that's unique to what I do and what I want to do as a state representative. Because in my church, I learned and over the years of pastoring, almost 30 years of pastoring, that everybody counts. You know, some churches, I don't want to say some churches, but it's not just the rich people. Matter of fact, we don't have very rich people in our church. We just got common, regular folks. And we got folks that's just struggling to make it paycheck to paycheck, week to week. We got people with normal, ordinary problems. You know, I've got problems. Please don't repeat that. Oh, that's on recording. Oh, no. That's going to be a video against me, a campaign ad against me. He admits he's got problems. We all have problems, the truth is. And so what does that mean to me as a state representative? There's a reason that I'm not here in Batesville tonight. It's because the small villages and small cities count. Fremont's very important. Tiffin's very important. We cannot deny that. But so is Batesville. And so I've been making my way around to these small communities, and in fact, people are recognizing who I am, and that I'm in this for a purpose, because I care more about people than a political career. And that's why I've earned the endorsement of Brian Schock, the mayor of Attica. I've earned the endorsement of Kevin Stryker, the mayor of Bellevue, also City Council President Ron Smith. I've earned the endorsement of Scott Black in Clyde. I've earned the endorsement of Jeff Larrick in Republic. I've earned the endorsement of Dave Auble in Bloomville. I've earned the endorsement of Ty Tracy in Woodville. And right now I'm just trying to think of who I might have left out. But I'm the only one that's getting these endorsements. And that's because people see that I care about them and I'm going to pay attention to them. And it's not just a one and done, come give me your vote and then I'm gone. But I care about you. I want to know the things that are happening here in Batesville. What's important to you from the state government perspective, the state government level. After I left Josh Mandel's team because he left it first, Mike DeWine asked me if I would form a faith coalition for him. And so I did that, and I gathered pastors from all across Ohio to support his campaign. And one of the critical things for us was his promise to sign the heartbeat bill. That's very important to me because I believe that life begins at conception. I believe every child deserves a chance. And so we did that, and he won. As soon as he won, they asked me, okay, Gary, now one of our promises was we would form an evangelical advisory council for the governor. So I said, would you put that together? I said, what do you want it to look like? They said, we don't know, you tell us. And so I told them, I said, here's what I think it ought to look like. They said, we like it, let's do it. I said, who do you want on there? Who do you not want on there? And they said, you pick. And so I chose, my goals were that it would be regionally diverse, that it would be ethnically diverse, and that it would be denominationally diverse. And so we have Hispanic, we have African American, we have pastors all over Ohio that are a part of this council, and it meets 4 times a year with the governor personally. And I was the chairman of that council until I decided to run for this position, because then it became a conflict of interest. And so I stepped down from that. They asked me, they said, Gary, who do you think should replace you? I said, I think it ought to be Neil Deary. And they said, good deal, it's Neil Deary, we like him too. And so he replaced me on that. I've been on the phone with him several times since. I still feel like I'm the chairman almost, because he says, hey Gary, what should I do? And I said, well, you're the chairman, you do whatever you want. My opinion is, but you do whatever you want. And so shortly, our first meeting, I put together a trophy for the governor. I call it the Champion of Life Award, because he promised to sign the heartbeat bill. And I had an image of him with a little quote, I will sign the heartbeat bill, with a little heart around it. And the first meeting we had, we gave him that award. The next day, he called, or his administration called, said, Gary, he's signing the heartbeat bill tomorrow. Can you be here? I said, yes, I'll be there. Next day I was there. We lined up in one room. We came around and out, and as it just happened, I ended up standing right behind Governor DeWine. There's a little problem with that. Number one, I'm 6'4". How many of you have seen the governor? He's a big man on the inside, but not on the outside. And so he's maybe 5'4", I don't know. And so they said, hey Gary, why don't you trade places with Meg Whitman? And Meg Whitman, by the way, was the director of Cincinnati Right to Life. She deserved to be there anyway for her hard work. I said, absolutely, let's trade spots. And then when I ran I had people in Seneca and Sandusky County asking me to run. I was really hesitant to run, I'll just be honest with you, because my hands were already in so many things where I felt like I was already making a difference. And really that's my goal, is just to make a difference. But it's hard when month after month, and when I was in Sandusky or when I go to the Seneca luncheons, people, every time I'd go, they'd say, hey, are you going to run? Are you going to run? Are you going to run? And so my wife and I talked about it. I had elected leaders asking me to do it. I told my wife, I said, no, if I do this, I'm gonna, you know how politics is, people's gonna attack me and lie about me and say things like that. I said, I got big shoulders, I can handle it. Can you handle it? She said, I won't like it, but I can handle it. And so we threw our name in the hat to run for this. And I've gone on too long already, but that's a little bit about who I am, and I would sure love to earn your support, your vote, or even your endorsements if you believe in me and if you believe I would represent you well. And thank you so much for your time. God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you,
Yes.
Gary. Thank you. Does anybody else have anything else they want to bring forward? Yes.
Take one and pass around.
Oh.
Good evening, I'm Bill Frankert, and I'm a candidate for the Seneca County Commissioners spot. Lifelong resident of Seneca County. I have a wife and 3 children, farmed, and the biggest perspective I can bring to the Board of Commissioners is the rural perspective. The villages, the county. I've been a township trustee for 13 years now, and I think we need to have a diversified board. We have enough from, the city of Tiffin, and we need to have the rural perspective on there, so, that's what, my platform is gonna be. I have a website on there, and, again, if you guys have any questions, be glad to, work with you on that, but I've been down, we've been in Adams Township, kind of the ground zero for the wind turbine projects, and, so we've, learned a lot in the last 10 years since they've shown up to what's, happened here recently. We're down to the adjudicatory hearings, and then down when, Bill Reineke introduces, Senate Bill 401, to bring the voice back to the people. I think it's an important aspect to it, is let everybody have a voice on that, so that's the other part of my platform too, so. If you have any questions, glad to take them. Thank you for your time, sure
Thank you.
appreciate it, yes.
Thank you. Good time. Okay. I guess the next thing I want to do is I'll tell the council I'm resigning my seat as council president. Since I'm getting the mayor, so I just make sure that's out of here. It's public. I'll write an official letter or something. Sure.
I have to make a motion to accept it.
I don't think you have to accept the resignation. I mean, if you'd like to, it's probably worth doing.
I was
but
gonna make,
Sure.
I would just get it in the minutes.
That way the seat's open and then you can start
Okay,
filling it.
I wanna make a motion to, accept
His
His
resignation.
resignation.
Scott's resignation as
Council
council president. And I would like to nominate Rob Toy to take his place.
You gotta do it in one motion.
Oh,
But he's gotta resign, and we
I
have to
resign, yeah.
accept it, and then you make the motion for Rob.
Okay, so,
Okay,
motion
so-
for me to resign. You gotta,
don't put it, they're scaring me. Look at this.
we're trying to do things right.
Okay,
Okay, so,
You want me to-
I have Joyce made a motion to accept
Scott's resignation,
as
okay,
president.
all right,
I'll second it,
all right,
Joyce,
yeah,
Linda,
yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
okay. Now, can I make a motion to nominate Rob Toy as council president to replace Scott?
Do you accept?
Oh, I accept.
Okay,
Oh, I have to second it.
yeah, right.
I'll second it.
Oh,
Okay, Joyce,
yeah,
Bill,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes,
Gilbert,
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
okay.
I also asked Rob if he would take care of the financials and the financial parts of the meetings like I was doing for, do things like
I'm
that.
keeping my chair though.
Oh, you're not gonna
Well, he's more protected back here because he got a chance.
well, yeah, yeah, but he's got a chance to run from there.
Oh, you're stuck in the corner.
I'm one of those little guys, I can
Congratulations.
sneak under the table.
So just so I understand
Where'd
this
he go?
now, just so I understand the next move is that since the seat is vacant, then I gotta wait 30 days before I can appoint the next, is it 30 days, is that correct?
30
Oh,
days.
okay.
So the next council meeting I can appoint him, is that correct?
I believe so.
Yes,
Okay, so,
that's right.
Yeah, it'll be 30 days, Pat. It'll be, yep, you should be fine.
okay. So
I'm
that's-
sure there'll people just be lined up around the street, right?
Oh, they are? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they are.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so that next move, and then after 30 days, I can appoint, somebody take my position, and then the council will be full again.
Yes,
Okay,
Okay.
there we go.
yes, and
Okay.
if you don't, then we have that choice.
Yeah,
But I think you got somebody.
I guess we lined up, so,
Okay.
so we just wait for 30 days and then I can make it official?
Yes.
Okay. Police report?
Alright, for the month of December, there are 4 traffic citations, 4 traffic warnings, 4 suspicious persons, vehicles, or trespassing complaints, 4 disturbances or disorderly conducts, 1 alarm call, 1 assist, and 4 in the other category, which were mainly like property line disputes, which is more of a civil issue, but I still type on them. There are 22 calls this month. Any questions?
So you were here for most of them?
Yeah.
You forgot to
Yeah, I
write that
did
down.
see that down there.
Jeez.
I can look it up and let you know next meeting how many I actually handled, but I remember most of the calls, so I knew that the others were property disputes and whatnot. Ready?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mike, you're up. Fire,
We had 3 calls for the month of December, which brought us to a total of 110 for the year, which is down compared to last year's 130. So
That's good.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is really is good. So, and then 64 were listed it on Gov Deals.
Good.
Again, I think it's time just to part with it. I mean, how long we gonna keep it? You know what I mean? How long we gonna store it? There's a lot of stuff in the bay out there that's in the way. I would like to get cleaned up.
Did you take a lot of stuff off of it?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a big, I don't know if you've been back there or not, but there's a big pile back there.
Is there? Okay.
I guess there's no, I mean, to make sure there's no water, so I guess we can put it outside and just let it, put it in storage someplace, I guess, if we need to. What do you think, John?
Really don't want to, but
Yeah. Well, as long as we don't have to.
especially this one. I mean, it was different with the other truck because it was, it was in pretty bad shape, but this truck, I really hate to set it outside.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't want to keep on going. It's been how long now?
Okay.
4 months.
4
4 or
months,
5
yeah.
months.
So we'll give it to spring, and if we don't have something, then when it gets a little nicer, we'll try to do something else with it or something. Does that make sense to everybody?
Which is fine. We just know it's got to go, and
Yeah.
I don't want to give it away.
Right.
We know it's worth money, but you got to find the right bidder.
Right.
Right.
And that's like,
So if nobody wants to buy it, will you give it away?
Auction it.
Well, that's what Gov Deals is for, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Gov
yeah.
Deals, we had a couple bids on Gov Deals. I think we had like $7,000 on it, you know,
Okay.
If
which,
there was somebody that really needed one and couldn't afford to buy one, you know.
Well, you wanna try to get something out of it.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
I hate to give
I
it, we spent how
understand
much
that,
money for
but,
it.
you know.
Yeah, we spent a bunch of money.
I mean, we're not just give it away, I don't like that
I
idea,
don't
but,
wanna give it away.
No.
I mean, if we can get something out of it.
Exactly.
But I haven't had anybody call about it in
Okay.
probably a month.
Okay.
Well, it's
So-
holiday season too, so maybe something will pick up after the first of the
You know,
year.
when it starts warming up.
When it starts warming up, yes.
People-
Right. Hopefully.
We're doing hibernation mode right now, anyway.
Exactly.
So-
Other than that,
So what about the fireman's, raffle and all that stuff that's coming up?
I got my ticket in the
Yeah,
mail
so is
already.
that's March what?
21st.
Okay, so we wanna make sure that we let the public know about that, maybe get that out there. So,
Yeah, 'cause I got
Yeah,
my ticket
tickets
in.
just-
and I guess, do you want me to, be there, or, you know, as far as? all the-
Yeah,
like you read it?
I'll say something to Chastity.
And just- I'll make sure I know what I'm supposed to do or whatever. You guys have to kind of walk me through it, so.
That's
Piece of
pretty,
The only thing that was on Facebook was that the letters had been sent out. It
Yeah,
didn't
I got
say
my
much
letter yesterday.
anything
yeah, the
else
letters,
about it.
like an early bird, if you get in before February,
Yeah, so we probably need to get that on
Sometime.
Facebook or something, so people know what's going on,
I
let's get
didn't
it.
know that.
Yeah, I just got the letter that was in the
Yeah, I got my
mail.
letter yesterday
And I
for the
seen it.
reverse raffle.
Yeah, so I thought at least bring that up so we can at least get it out to the public and then
Mm-hmm.
get the dates correct and everything, so everybody knows what's going on, what
Yeah.
time everything is and
Who to contact for
all that
tickets.
stuff, tickets and stuff.
Chastity Case is in charge of it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try to get that organized so that we can have a good
But any
turnout.
fireman will be able to get you a ticket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just wanna have a good turnout so we can make
Yep.
some money for the,
Yep.
that's what the goal is, right? So,
Yes, sir.
Do you remember how much you made last year?
On the reverse raffle?
Yeah.
No, not off the top of my head.
I'm not sure of the tickets.
Under
$50.
$50.
And then it's a $20
For the meal tickets.
for a meal ticket. So if you wanna go, it's
Maybe.
$50 and $20 extra for the patty.
Maybe 8 or between 8 and 12.
Unless it's, like Mike said, they got a early bird thing going on, so maybe that's.
Yeah, if you get in before February something, you get a chance to win $250 cash. If you go on the fire permits fire permits Facebook page,
Okay.
it's on, there's a letter on there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just want
Or not a letter, but the
information.
Details,
flyers on there. Yeah.
okay,
Yep.
but it's in March.
Any other concerns that you need to talk to the council?
Other than, I don't wanna talk to John really, but, the pile we got out back here.
Pile.
There's a generator out there a guy wants to buy, but I don't know whose property it is. Do we have to have an auction to sell all that stuff, or can we sell it, or what we gotta do?
I think so, as a government agency.
Yeah, yeah.
We have to have an auction.
Well, time out. It depends on if the association bought it or if the village bought it.
Now, that generator in particular, I was told it was given to the village by Mike Clace. But,
Still village property.
It's still village property, and so it would have to be auctioned.
so,
Because when we closed the youth center, everything had
I
to
mean,
be
it could be
auctioned.
a sealed bid or whatever, but it doesn't have to
Right.
be.
well, I just know that stuff's gonna sit there then. You know what I mean, if we're gonna have an
Yeah,
auction.
you'd have to advertise it and do sealed bid because we'd have to pay for an auctioneer
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
come in for $50 worth of stuff,
Right.
Yeah, right, I mean, we were gonna sell the generator for $100,
so.
you know, it's basically taking up space.
Yeah, well, why don't we just go ahead and do the sealed bid thing and do it that way, so that way it's legal and
So I'll just tell them.
that way we can get rid of the stuff, right? I mean, just
Yeah.
do it the right way so we don't.
Exactly.
A lot of this stuff's gonna go in that trailer, but there's some stuff back there that we don't need.
Okay. Well, you guys determine what you need to get rid of, and then we'll just set up a silent offer.
Yeah,
Sealed
well,
bid.
what you have to
Post
do,
it.
you'll have to make a list of what you're selling and then you'll have to accept sealed bids and put
What if we put that,
opening date on it.
could we put it on Gov Deals, would that be any better?
Go ahead, you can do that legally.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to go through all this sealed bid and all
That's
this.
an auction site, you can auction off whatever you want.
It might be our easiest way.
And if it
We'll
doesn't
check
work,
into
then
that,
you
I
just,
guess.
your backup is just go to
Right.
sealed bid.
Okay.
That way you can resolve it. I mean, then you just post the paper, both papers, whatever, and tell them that, in the end of the month, whatever, you're gonna, you know, auction it off and,
So I just
it's
need
got
to
a nice
type
bid.
up, I type up a letter saying I'm gonna have an auction or a sealed bid for the generator
And
and,
then just say, list, like John said, list what the stuff you're getting rid of or whatever, and people can, they can look at it or whatever and put a bid on it,
okay,
and then that way it's done.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
That way you read your pile and life gets better, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay,
Okay.
all right, thanks.
thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Is there any cleanup issues?
No, I don't have anything right now, but like I said, this, towards spring, I want to really get aggressive. Okay.
Okay. So maybe we start discussing what, like Alex said, we gotta have a little
Do
bit
you
of fight or
remember
something.
how much it cost when we did that time? When we had a town-wide cleanup, you know, and they threw everything in there but the kitchen sink?
I can tell you that was more than 20 years ago because we've never done that since I've been here.
Really? Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been that long. Yeah, Joyce. Joyce, we've been here since 1999.
I've been here forever. Oh, Lordy. But it probably cost several $1,000s, I'm assuming. Well, I see the township out there have
It's 'cause
cut
it's
everything
costing them
off.
a fortune.
Okay, oh.
So those are some of the things that we need to discuss.
Yeah, we're gonna have to discuss something because, you know, it's just getting outrageous around here in
Structure
some
together.
places.
Yeah, this is what's gonna happen if you don't.
Right,
Because otherwise, you're just
I mean,
wasting your
it's
time.
there, but
You're
there's no
frustrating
penalty.
yourself.
right. So I think, like you said, that's one thing we gotta do is we gotta put the structure together. So we're gonna do these things, let's discuss what we wanna try to do. Then we'll have to go ahead and put ordinances together with
Yeah.
With penalties.
repercussions.
repercussions.
Yeah.
Penalties.
So that we can
Yeah.
enforce them, right?
Because
Yeah.
right now,
We
there's
don't
no
have any
penalty.
teeth in any of our laws
Yeah,
here
right.
right now, you know, and, you
And it's
tell
not to be
somebody-
totally punitive, but at the same token, we gotta be able to resolve some of the
Yeah.
issues.
Big help would be getting our ordinance for vehicles revised, unlicensed vehicles. There's probably a dozen of them in town I can come up with right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
That would help clean stuff up a lot right there.
Okay, and we probably,
Oh, I am.
so maybe you give us some guidance on that so we can do it correctly.
Okay.
So we just, so we don't, you know, we just wanna make sure that when we do stuff, we just, it's got teeth to it, but it's legal and it's the right thing to do.
I think what you guys, my suggestion would be is, and kind of like what Scott said, is take a meeting, figure out what it is you guys, what are the things you really want to deal with, and then we can then tailor ordinances from that. You know, so like you said, I mean, if you sit around and think, well, our main cleanup issues are vehicles, for example, let's just start from there. Because I know, because there was I think a case came out relatively recently that it can be really hard to classify what's like junk, for example.
Right.
It's pretty easy to prove it's not junk. So you gotta, I think, figure out what's the situation. Is it a a visual thing? Is it what's the goal? And so once you figure out what the goal is, we can tailor things to fit the goal.
Vehicles.
It's gotta be the biggest thing, right?
Well, that's fairly simple, really. I mean, if it's unlicensed, if it doesn't have valid plates or whatever on it, I mean, obviously they're not replating it for a reason.
Right.
So that's probably the simplest one to me.
Isn't there already an ordinance for that? Yeah, we do
It's
have
probably toothless.
But there's
But can you reference that and just put a
you can
penalty
do an
to it?
amendment to it and
Yeah.
add penalties to it,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We just need to get those, I don't know, a couple council members or whatever need to decide what ones they wanna go with first and then add penalties to it.
I think we probably need to do a review of what we do have, just so we understand, because I think, honestly, from what I'm looking at, there's not a lot of things that, it's hard to find because it's just so scattered, so we gotta get things a little better organized, right, so.
Well, the ordinances aren't hard to find anymore. I mean,
Yeah,
everything's
now we
in
got
that
that organized,
laptop
yeah.
now, but
Yeah.
it's just a matter of what ones you want to follow through with at this point.
Right.
Okay.
And then I would also suggest somehow giving people some notice that you're doing this. I
Right.
don't want you to.
Right.
Some dude's had a car sitting there with
Right.
no tires for 15 years. Next thing you know, he's getting fined.
Well,
Right.
and that's up to you guys, how
Right.
many
Yeah.
months of warnings or, 30 days, 60 days, 90,
Well, I think you put it out there
whatever.
for a period of time, because it's been going on for a while, and be fair, just give everybody due warning before you start doing stuff, right?
Right.
So.
What you're gonna do is you are gonna run into a little bit of a hard time if you decide to go after someone, for example, and you've had these laws in the books for 20 years, and you just have now decided, and the guy's had something sitting in his yard for 12 of them,
Right.
and you now all of a sudden decide to go and enforce it. That's gonna be a problem.
So what, we should,
I think that's, you gotta be up on your warning them and say, hey, look,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Council can decide to give a time frame before they enforce it. I mean, that's up to them,
Right.
right?
Right.
that's what my suggestion, to make sure people know. That way, when you show up at the door, it's not anything new.
Right.
Well, right.
That'd be fair. Okay. Any other concerns about cleanup?
No, like I said,
Understand?
high weeds, mow your grass,
So do you guys wanna do something with the cars for the next time, or?
Well,
I think I wanna do the research and see what we have in the books first, and then we'll sit down and see what's there, and then I'll talk to Alex a little bit, and then we'll figure out, what is the right thing. I'll look at maybe however his eyes code as far as, if there's anything in there that we should.
I've got a
If
whole,
I can interject, we have that with the township,
Yes.
and if you get with like, the prosecutor Derek Devine, he's got it pretty well, cause they did, the Ohio Revised Code did do some changing on that for the nuisance, basically, for the cars. And even though, like you said about the plates and stuff, but if it's somewhat operational and stuff, that, it's a whole different gamut, it's not quite as easy as what you think it is, you gotta take pictures, and like you say, you give, it takes quite a step before you can get a tow truck in to get it out or whatever, and
Right.
that's just an experience that we've had with the township and
Right.
stuff with that, so it's just, yeah, like I say, it's been there, and we have that, and it just
well,
kinda has to be.
we're not physically gonna have somebody's vehicle towed. We'll cite them until they do it.
Yeah.
But you do have that option if they refuse to do
Right,
that, and then you
right.
can assess the taxes and a whole bunch
Right.
of stuff like that.
okay, that's good.
Okay, cool. Water, sewer, street, John?
I only got a couple things. First thing is kind of more of a zoning question. Now, I haven't had any questions about zoning, other than, where they tore the house down at 123 State, behind the funeral home, behind your boy's place. I know no one's gonna be able to build a residence in there because it's a floodplain, but would council object to someone building a storage building where the house used to reside?
To store what?
Just lawn equipment, whatnot. It's the same people.
Well, who
that-
owns the property now, us?
No,
No,
no, the county owns it
county
right
owns
The
it.
now.
county, okay.
yeah.
But he's not gonna approach it any further until he finds out, you know, he's considering purchasing the property, which would be nice to have somebody maintain it.
Yeah.
But, he just wants to build a pole barn where the house was at. He owns the trailers and the house up there. In front
Oh,
of that property.
what's his
that
face?
section.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alway,
Huh?
Alway?
No, Heidi's.
Egan,
Egan.
Okay.
Smith's
Yeah.
Okay,
kids,
yeah, okay.
What do you think, Rob? You have any issue?
Joey?
yeah. Yeah, he called me and asked me about it a couple weeks ago, and I said, all I can do is take it to council and ask them what their opinion is on it. Cause, you know, obviously, if he can't do anything with it, he's not gonna pursue it.
Well,
And, and to tell you the truth, I don't know who would pursue it for a big grass lot if they're not gonna be able to do anything with it. We're just gonna have to keep maintaining it forever.
but if it's in a floodplain, how can you build anything on it?
It was in a
The water
floodplain when I
won't,
put
the
the house
water
there
doesn't
before.
come up where the house was at, it'll
Yeah.
come up all around the
We
house.
never
But-
designate, we assumed it's a floodplain, because to me, that's what, but we not.
You would have to look at the
formally
flood
declared
maps
it
to
a
formally
floodplain.
know if that, the county handles that. We
Yeah.
don't, we
Yeah.
don't declare anything.
And I don't, personally, I don't have a problem with somebody building a storage building, as long as it's never used for residential.
Right, right.
And it's maintained.
Well,
Well, that's Joyce,
Yeah.
that's cleaning.
You mean it's somebody else that won't mow their grass?
No. They take care of the
Okay.
them properties up
Well,
there.
you know, I guess my opinion, just looking at it, I mean, people should have the right to buy property, do things they want to, as long as it doesn't create safety issues or, you know, if he wants to make a storage building, something like that, I don't have an issue with that, as long as it maintains or something like that. Because like you said, otherwise it's just gonna be
Right.
nothing, at least you get a little bit of
Their
taxes
ground
off
and
it.
we'll have to take care of it, right?
Yeah, we have been. Yeah, cause, I've never heard from the county since they took the house out.
Since they tore it
I'll
down.
have to call somebody from the land bank and find out what exactly is going on with it. but-
Call Julie at the auditor's office, she'll be able to tell you if it's up for sale.
I had to go through the prosecutor's office to find all that stuff out
So I
before.
think they would do the land bank.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Julie won't have any idea what's going on with it.
as far as the individual goes, I'm almost to the point of recusing myself, because Joe and I go way back, way back.
Right, right.
We started out as skilled trade back at XL Wire years ago,
Right.
but that guy will do it right.
Well, right, right.
If that man says he's gonna do something, I've never seen
And
him
I
not
believe,
do it.
from my understanding, I think he wants to attach it to the other three properties that are attached in front of it. That way,
I say for the village, we're better off having a responsible person own it and build on it that we're gonna get tax money from,
right,
rather than sitting there costing us money.
yes.
I mean, that's my
Makes
personal
sense.
opinion about it.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think we should let people, you know, take advantage of their own properties and do what they
Right,
want to, if
right.
they decide to buy them or whatever, and improve them, because I mean, that's what, that just helps us all around.
Right, right,
And then the bottom line, he's the one taking the risk, if you put stuff in there and they have a flood or something,
right.
you know, he's at risk, we are not.
Right.
I mean, it's-
The only other thing that I could see that would fall in, that may be a small issue, would be, there is a tap on that property.
Mhm.
So, you know, that would be a little speed bump
It would be.
for you guys to figure out what to do with, but,
I think that's kind of the horse or the cart for the horse right now, because he's got to buy it first and all
no,
those
I
things.
agree, but
We gotta
that's
think about
another
it.
thing that's gonna fall in there, if he's gonna have to pay a monthly payment for something he's never gonna use. And if the village is not gonna allow a residential property to be built on there, that's something that has to be decided regardless.
I guess you asked the question, does he, what if he wouldn't put a bathroom in his barn, right? Is that would still not be a residential property, but he should still have facilities for, you know,
If he's in there working or whatever,
or
it'll be
whatever,
fine.
you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just
Right.
something to think of through, so we have to ask those questions, but
Right.
I think
But-
that might change the whole
Yeah.
mix, right?
So, anyhow, it's out there, I'll give him a call and go over that with him.
Anything else?
Pogemeyer is gonna be here to start their survey of the wastewater plant,
Good.
beginning Thursday. Dave actually spoke with them, they had his number as a contact, so they're supposed to be here around 11 in the morning, and I don't really know what all the beginning of it's gonna entail.
That goes
Whether it's
with
just
the letter I got.
pictures or whatnot, yeah. The other thing I got is the plumbing at the well house is complete, so you can look on the top page of what it looks like now, and underneath is what it used to look like, and
Nice and pretty now.
Oh, how pretty, look how pretty that.
I guess back to the point of, I did get the letter from the EPA, and I went right through that, but this is over the phosphorus. I mean, that's what Meyer's doing, that's what this is all about. So everybody understands, I mean, the standards have changed somewhat, and now we're have to deal with the phosphorus, the runoff basically from the fields and all those other things, fertilizer. So that's what's driving this whole thing, and I don't know what the cost is gonna be to do all these things.
originally, those requirements came down the line, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. But they had no way to regulate it, so I believe it was Bowling Green that tied EPA up in court over it. And now they finally got it settled, and now that's why they're coming down on everybody. So, yeah. So anyhow, yeah, the beginning stages of that's coming
Yeah.
in.
And I'm not sure how you would resolve it unless you run through some kind of system where you use a block, it's like that, where you have to take it out and precipitate it out somehow, right? I'm not sure how you get that phosphate, I mean, I'm not sure how you.
No, we can knock the phosphorus out by adding alum, and we've already started to add alum.
Okay.
So
it falls out?
as a coagulant.
Okay.
It's a aluminum sulfate.
Yeah, okay.
You have to be careful about what you put in a wastewater plant, because anything chemically that you put in there, you have to remove it before it's discharged. So aluminum sulfate doesn't fall under that category. It drops out and stays within the plant. So we started adding that. Actually, about a month ago, we started adding that because we were having issues with pin flock and whatnot in the plant. So we tried that, and it seems to be working really good. So right now, we're just adding a couple cups a day. You know, there was not really not really anything scientific about what we did, but that's what Pogemeyer's for.
Yeah, yeah. They usually have systems, I mean, I've installed a system like that before, where you have other people, where you have,
Yeah.
you know, you do your testing.
A lot of
and all
times,
feeds in
a
it.
lot of times they use aluminum sulfate in clear wells for water purposes,
Okay.
so. But yeah, it seems to be working real good, and we're just adding a couple pounds a day. I got granular. What will most likely end up happening and in the future is, it'll probably be a liquid injection at some point within the process, once Pogemeyer gets it figured out. But to try it, I got a deal from Bonded Chemical on some broken bags that they had, and so.
Okay.
we're good
So
where
do you
we're-
think, from your perspective, you think it's gonna be an expensive proposition, or not?
Oh, I think the 5-year plan will be pretty expensive, because that plant was not really designed properly. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. But the alum has really changed the process.
Okay.
So hopefully it's not too bad.
So we'll get some information, then we can make an informed decision,
Which
which
is,
our next move is.
anything we do, we'll have to apply for a permit through the EPA regardless to do it. So, I did put in, Dave and I worked on an application for a variance for mercury, because we do have issues meeting our mercury levels in the plant. A lot of that's from runoff. Mercury can come out of the sky when it rains, you know, it comes from. So, our levels are super low on our permit. So, we had a couple violations in the last 5 years. And the last visit we had from our wastewater guy from the EPA, he said that we can put in a variance that'll allow us up to a certain point, nanogram liters is what they call it. So that we don't get any violations, they'll let us go up to that point because we just sent that letter in today, so hopefully they give us a little leeway on that. But, other than that, I mean, we'll discuss that with them too.
Okay.
Even the guy from the EPA said it can sit, someone can flush a thermometer and that ball of mercury can sit in the corner of the plant for 10 years and then all of a sudden just gets dislodged for no reason and it just comes up and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
Dentist office are big places for that, I guess, but since we don't have anything like that around here, there's really no telling no way to narrow it down where it comes from, but quit flushing thermometers. I don't know. So, anyhow, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Okay, Art, anything? That's the only action I had down there, this may put a chain around the gates and everything, was locked it up, some
Yeah.
externally, so I don't know who did it.
We
So
don't
anyways,
have
whoever it is, I got their chain and I got their lock, and I took it off, and if they want it back, they come talk to me about it. So, I don't know who did it, so it was externally from us. So, I guess they decided they want the gates locked, for that reason, but a few people got excited because the gates were locked and wanted to know why we locked them out, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got blamed for it.
Yeah, but, we took no action to do any of that stuff, it was not our stuff, so. So, just so everybody knows.
Okay.
Zoning,
No, I mean, nothing on zoning.
I did have Harry Bird come talk to me, he's interested in buying maybe the church down here, or church or whatever, and he said he's thinking about turning it into,
Antique store.
well,
At
that,
one time.
family, maybe an apartment, something in the back part of it, and an antique store or something in front or whatever. So he wanted to know if there was any issue with the zoning that you could have family living in it, because I think that area is zoned residential in it.
I think the only thing we have against any zoning on a building like that is like a strip club. That was all.
It wasn't, well, the reason she brings that up is because she started that because we joked around about an adult bookstore and a strip club going in an empty place. in
Yeah,
town.
so now, within, was it 3 miles of the village, you can't have anything like that, okay?
I do believe that that's zone residential. The realtor had contacted me about it and I looked it up for him before. The only thing that's technically general business is everything on State Route 12
Right.
through the center of town, so.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
So you'd have to ask the neighbors before you could sell it to somebody for a business, you mean, or we just couldn't do it at all?
For the business part of it, he would have to get the zoning changed.
Oh, I see.
change or get a variance,
You'd
whatever,
have
Yeah.
to at least get a variance.
a variance, but if he wants to turn it into residential or, whatever.
Residential, I don't think he's got a problem
Yeah.
with, but the business portion, he
Get
would
the
have
bricks
to.
fixed.
Yeah, and then I guess the other issue was that, I think, so I understand, right, the cemetery and stuff have already been separated, right?
Yes.
So, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, that years ago, I think I remember doing something
Yeah.
about that, where
Yeah,
we
it's
assumed the
it's
cemetery.
probably been 10 years ago now, but yeah.
So, that was the only other thing I wasn't quite sure about, but I thought that was taken care of, but I
Yes.
thought I'd better at least bring it to everybody's
Yeah,
attention.
the only
make sure-
thing that's still a gray area about that is the mausoleum.
Mausoleum.
That's still an odd.
Yeah, we don't know who owns it, or,
We own the property, but we don't own the mausoleum.
But the guy that said that he owned it, he's dead now, so.
what goes to the
I
heritage?
don't know, and from what I understand, the records are kinda sketchy from the church, so I don't, all I know is I've been mowing the thing for ever, and then I found out we never even owned it.
We appreciated it, John.
Yeah, John.
A question came up with our last solicitor about this because somebody wanted to be buried in the mausoleum. And since we had no idea who owns those separate vaults, we couldn't sell that person one of those sites because the rightful owner and the solicitor's mind could come up and contest that because we did something unlawful, because we didn't own the
Because I don't
house.
even think the cemetery committee has that information.
No.
I don't think there's nobody in there
nobody does,
anymore,
and I
though,
don't
is
think
there? Yeah, there
we'll
is.
ever-
Is there
Oh,
still
yeah.
somebody in there?
Oh, there's quite a few in there.
Really?
Yeah. I guess in the late '80s, Johnny Gerwin said they exhumed a bunch of them,
Yeah, I remember that.
but I don't know where they went. But yeah, there's still quite a few in there.
Well, who owns the ground that it's on? The
We
village?
do.
We do. What about
See what I said
eminent
about it,
domain?
Shaggy?
Well, that's, I'm not, that's kind of the idea I'm thinking of is, if I own, if
Then
I
why
take
have they been
land,
paying rent?
Now, our last solicitor on a couple issues was a little skittish about making a stand or making a decision, so.
because I know,
bear that in mind.
well, I know, but, I'm not making any decisions sitting in this chair right now. But, because there's also funny rules about selling cemetery plots and spaces and that sort of stuff.
We have never sold anything
Yeah.
in that cemetery as long as I've been here.
Okay.
Well, you just had to bury something.
I did.
Oh,
That was a long, involved.
Yes, it was.
It took me a month to figure out what to do
So-
with that. But yeah, someone was a grandmother that had been cremated. Her stone was up there, but she was in Florida and got handed down. And yeah, come to find out, if you've got a death certificate, you can pretty much bury anybody.
Anywhere.
So,
really?
I guess, I just wanna make it clear, so the village has the property, but there's, I guess, some sort of question as to whether or not we own a building that's on a property.
I know we don't own it. It was somebody out of Findlay that owned it, the last I knew.
But we have their land.
The church did too.
That was before my
Hey,
time.
this is Bettsville, buddy.
That sounds like
Yeah.
a law school exam question.
That was
Yeah,
before me.
yeah.
Do we care enough that I spend time on it or no?
That's up to these guys, huh?
I don't know why we shouldn't, if we own the property, after 100 years, we should just own the building too. Nobody's ever done anything up to
Be
or
careful,
anything.
Donnie.
And
Don't you think?
that is why, do you really wanna own that building?
Hey, my house is on the ghost walk
I
because of
get
the,
that.
Yeah, but if some kid falls off the roof of the mausoleum screwing around and
How
breaks
mu-
their hand,
How
and they
much,
sue
how
you.
much of your lands and buildings money do you think you have? Because a lot of work needs done to that building.
really.
Yeah.
A lot of
Well,
money.
yeah, but couldn't we just tear it down?
No, you got.
You
money to do
can't-
We
about it.
got bodies in there, Joyce.
Yeah, you go over there and bust them out.
Yeah. Well, that would be interesting.
Oh, it would, it would.
Trying to move in or what?
Well, I'm getting close, I'm telling you, you know.
Okay, this one.
Okay, that went too far, we gotta stop
Let's
this,
go on
okay,
there.
get on track, kids. You know, okay.
Nothing else on.
Old business, Buckeye IT, I've been working with Jake, he's got the engine stuff built. The problem was we had to go back and try to get around all the stand stuff, and that created quite a challenge for him, but he thinks he's got the engine straightened out so that when they search for us, they can get to us without going to stand sites.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
that's good.
So, he's got the basic webpage design done and that, he's working on the link, so I'm gonna try to work with him some more this month and try to get it more defined. He said he had a little struggle trying to get around all
Yeah.
the challenges there on the search engine, so he had to design a new, what they do, whatever they did.
You guys got a Dalmatian on the truck?
Yeah. So one of Johnny's dogs.
I only got one, that's kinda mine. She don't.
Well, yeah, because somehow he was able to get his search engines to come up first, and
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
that was the
Yes,
challenge.
yeah.
So then you try to get to our website,
He
and
was-
that's what.
Oh, when
Yeah,
you type
yeah.
in Bettsville, he
Right.
got the.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
everything of his coming
Yeah,
up.
so I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what he was doing there, but somehow he got, the way the search engine was set up.
So, and along with that, which is why it's so confusing to me why he's allowed to have that, is he's checking when someone goes to his site, they get his email that's set up for Bettsville, and then he reads the emails and then forwards them to us.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can
Isn't
talk-
that illegal?
Don't look at me, you're solicitor.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, it's pretty sketchy, but I don't think
So I
it's,
Well,
can-
he's
as long as it's not, as long as he's not holding himself out to be a council person or a representative of the actual village of
And that is
Bethel.
such a gray area.
I think you can do it kind of what you want.
I still think that's the guys.
It's the Wild
I
West.
mean, that's how that's the famed clickbait. That's how you go read the articles and you end up back. I had a friend in law school who paid for law school, he ran websites where you went and got free samples of stuff. Sampleaday.com. And how he made money was designed in such a way that you thought you were clicking on the link to get the free sample, but the link for a free sample is really tiny underneath it. You actually click the ad, and he'd get like 5 cents every time someone clicked the ad, and he made thousands of dollars doing it.
What was that
And
website?
that's legal?
He's a lawyer in Detroit.
Oh, my.
He's a wizard at this stuff. Sampleaday.com.
But yeah, I mean,
It's the
that's,
same idea. I mean, that's why what you're saying makes a lot. As long as our guy can make us the site that it needs to be, you're gonna bury him.
Yeah, that's the goal, yeah, so.
Yes.
Keep up on the content, keep uploading stuff, you'll bury him.
So we're trying to get it right, so, I mean, it's taken longer than I was anticipating, but then we had quite a challenge there to get around. I didn't realize what it was gonna take to get around that mess.
He was even getting our mail and stuff, you know.
So anyways, that's what I've been up to.
It's been awful.
Okay, next one is Rita, non-responders.
I've got nothing from Rita. Did you get anything from Rita? So I guess I don't know what you guys wanna do, cause they've got, in order to pursue this, I gotta get the information they have and they're not responding to what I've asked for.
Okay.
So, you know, I don't really know what to tell you on that. I can send more angry letters. But if they won't give me the information that you need, we couldn't even begin to go get someone.
Have you called Diane and talked to her?
I haven't spoken to her directly.
Maybe you try that just once, just
Yeah.
to see what happens.
I'll give her a buzz.
The next one is annexation.
Okay, so I asked Hank and them to give me an estimate for what it'd be to survey it.
Okay.
Because I figured at the end of the day, it'd actually just be easier for them to survey it than try to piecemeal it together.
Right.
I was working on some of that stuff today, so I don't know how much you guys spent on the past thing, but I think it's worth. If this is you've done it long enough, I think it's worth paying.
Yeah.
As long as it's not something crazily unreasonable.
Yeah.
That way, you'll have a survey of just the parcel that we're gonna do. The other parcel is already part of the village.
Right.
And that was when I went to when I stopped, the other time when I went, was the problem of me, they said the problem of me simply doing it is because that parcel is already in it, we can't use the original survey from 1991 because there's a part that's already a village and you'd have to separate that off. And their concern was that the reduction would be so much that you'd have to get a survey anyway. Because at that point, the big parcel that was original has just been chunked and chunked and chunked.
Yeah.
And then when so much percentage is no longer there, you have to resurvey it. So I just asked them what would be an estimate to survey that parcel.
Yeah, we just need to get cleaned up. We just gotta get this behind us so we can finalize, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Okay. Any other old business that you guys think of? New history? Okay. New business, I got reallocation of money. I gotta figure out where that's at here.
Actually, if I could back up, sorry, I just thought of this.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys want to talk about an amount that you are comfortable with authorizing, so that if I get a response back and they say, hey, I'm making this up. Let's say they say, hey, we'll do a survey, it'll be $1,500. I'm just making this up, I have no idea how much it would cost. That I can just go ahead and give them the go-ahead. If you want to say, authorize up to whatever, or I can do whatever else you guys want to do with
I
it.
don't think we have a choice, do we?
No, not if you want it. But at the same time, I don't want to tell them to go ahead and it's 12
Yeah,
grand, and
right,
everyone
yeah.
here's like, whoa,
Well,
what are we
yeah,
doing here?
yeah. But I don't think they would do that to us, would they?
I just have
It depends on.
I just have no
much
idea
it
how much it
takes.
would be. It's a big piece of property.
Yeah, it is.
It's huge, but they have a lot of it already.
Yeah.
I know people in town who paid $1,500 to do their residence.
Yes,
Right,
exactly.
that's what I'm just
So
saying.
It's not gonna be
No.
that kind of amount. It's gonna be probably I was thinking $5,000–6,000.
But it's still, I think ultimately it's what needs to be done. But, and I don't know if it'll necessarily be that because, like I said, they did, and the reason I went to them is they did the original survey when Premier Services purchased their section off of Basic.
Right.
So there is part of it that has been surveyed, at least at some point. So,
Well, we can either authorize him to go ahead or authorize him to get a quote and bring it back to council next meeting. That depends on how long we wanna wait.
I think, from my perspective, I'll present to the council, I think we just authorize, like you say, $4,000, $5,000, you know, up to that point, you know, and
if
then
it's over, I'll just bring it back to council.
bring it back to
Yeah.
council.
That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And if I have that authorization and they say, hey, it's gonna be 7, I can say, I'm authorized up to 5. I can get you at least 5, let's start some work, and I'll take the balance to council and get rolling.
Well, I think you need to look at your negotiating skills and see if
Right.
you can't do better than that.
No, I understand that, I just, I understand that, but I would like to, if, you
Is
know,
this through E-Step? I'm sorry.
no.
No, this is through
Hank and
Hank and Associates.
Because E-Step's already got the points set in the
Not-
street down.
But not for the part that,
Yeah.
he's not even close to what you need though.
But he's got a boundary where he can start.
Yeah, he's
He
got
got where he
places
can
to
get the
start.
boundary.
Well, I can get an estimate.
I think East Step was.
No, no,
And I can
no,
go ahead
I'm
and-
just,
no, no, no,
I'm
right.
just saying,
That
you
stuff's
know,
there.
it was 6 or 7 grand to have E-Step do the park.
Yep.
But at least the points are there for this guy.
Right.
You know, it shouldn't cost
Hank
that
and
much
Associates
again.
are good though.
Yeah, I mean, they're in Tiffin, I mean,
Good
that,
surveyors.
that's right, I was wondering because they were the original.
We just need to get this cleaned up, what we got, we got contacts, we get this cleaned up, and get it behind us. I think that's what we gotta get. We're this close, you know, we just gotta get it resolved.
Do we wanna make a motion?
Can you make a motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize our solicitor to spend up to $5,000 on a survey for Hank and Associates.
I'll second it, Angela.
Rob,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yeah.
Bill,
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody should have a copy of what I have to read.
Yeah, Rob, I mean, you're gonna need to make a motion to move this money
This one.
forward or whatever. Okay, so new business, we have a reallocation of monies to the general fund and water fund.
Alright, just reallocate, item 1, $50. Do I read the whole thing off or just allocate the money?
Whatever you guys want, because everybody has a copy of it. They can-
Okay.
Yeah,
they can see.
I'll make a motion to reallocate the funds for the maintenance, buildings, operations, supplies, and repairs and maintenance.
That was $50.
Whole thing. Are you doing the whole thing, Rob, or are you just doing
Yeah, I'm
one
doing-
item?
She says, no, I said the whole thing.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
everybody, you can
50,
see.
70, 90, $110.
Yeah. Okay. I'll make that second. Angela?
Okay, Rob,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yeah.
Gilbert.
Yes.
I got the next one is medical mutual insurance. You got something, Angela?
Yes, when I got the bill that I had to pay by January 1st, John's health insurance went up $34.26 because his age changed.
Josh?
Actually, it didn't yet.
Well, they're saying it is, I'm making you older.
Don't let that happen.
So I had to go ahead and pay it, so first of all, I want approval for having written a check, which was $34.26 more than what you guys had approved me for, because I had to get it out.
I'll make a motion that you,
I'll second it.
Linda,
yes.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Bill,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And then I need a motion to approve, it will now be, instead of $531.23, it'll be $565.49.
I'll make a motion for the change.
I'll second it.
Rob,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yeah.
Linda,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
thank you.
Just don't get any more old, I am everybody.
I'm trying not to.
Now, you know what happens if you
working
don't
on that
get
one.
older.
The alternative is not good.
Yeah.
Well, I might get a place in that mausoleum.
Yeah.
Push out the shelf.
Making me up on the shelf.
The next new business item we have is the Department Conference letter, and then basically what this is, I guess, basically it's the liquor license exchange from Blue Eagle to DS Bar and Grill, even though they shut down,
I was
still,
gonna say, I thought they were shut down.
I still think we have to
Yeah.
approve the licensing change, and bring to the public so they know where there was a liquor license change within the community. But that's what this is.
Mhm.
So it's a complete return to form to the Division of Liquor Control. And whether or not there will be a request for a hearing for this change. So we may have any issues with that.
No. It's all over Facebook.
Okay.
So do we need a motion that everybody approves that?
If you have that, then I should be able to take the other part, the sheriff and
Okay.
and have him
So that's
sign the other
Have a
portion.
motion, please, to,
Okay, I'll make a motion to okay that.
need a second?
I'll second it.
Joyce,
Yeah.
Rob,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
And who has to sign that, Scott? Is there a,
Well, it says on here, bottom here, it said I got either clerk of county commissioner, clerk of city council, or township fiscal officer. So I guess basically you could do it, right?
Yeah. 'Cause she's
Hey!
oh, anybody can?
Yeah, anyone,
Okay.
that's what I'm
Sure.
saying. It says one, you know,
One
you
of.
got 3 boxes there. So you just click on which box it is, and then you sign it and date it, just like. And then the other one we have, it goes to the police department, but it's gonna have to go to the sheriff, so we have a contract with the sheriff, so it's the same thing, but it's gonna have to go back to the sheriff department, they're gonna have to sign off on it. So you can run that up for John and have them sign it, and then we should be legal with that then.
Okay.
And the last thing under new business right now is EMS building furnace repair.
Yes, I received a bill from Rick Evans Plumbing for $320.46. Do you wanna explain?
I got a call on Christmas Eve that the furnace wasn't working over there, so, I come over and looked at it, and, one of the pressure switches must have went bad in it. I thought at the time, because I couldn't get the thing to ignite, so, it wasn't supposed to be that cold. They put a,
Space heater in there.
space heater in there for the couple days. And then, that Thursday, I called up Rick Evans to come over and look at it. That's who installed that. And, come to find out, there was the ground going to it somehow ended up with voltage in it.
Ooh.
The electric over there has got there's an old screw-in panel
Yep.
with screw-in fuses in
So we
there.
got open neutral somewhere.
Yeah. So, he rewired it and grounded it inside the panel, which it was not run that way prior to that. And, everything started working fine again. So, but he was here, well, it had to be after 6 o'clock when he called me and said that it was done. So, yeah, he was here for 3-4 hours trying to diagnose it, and then he had to run back to Fremont by my place to get Romex to come back and rewire it. So, yeah, he had time invested in it. There's no doubt.
How much was that?
$320.46.
We got the Christmas special.
Yeah,
That's what I thought it said.
That's pretty cheap, I thought.
Yes,
They
definitely.
charge for the moment they get in their truck
Yeah.
and start heading your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question to council is, does Betsville wanna pay for that, or do you want me to take it to JLB and have them pay it
Oh.
Tuesday?
Well, but I think we own the building though. The
That's
village
why
owns the
I'm
building,
bringing it to
right?
you to see what you guys.
Yes, we own the building.
Yeah, I think it comes out building and ground in all
Comes out.
fairness.
So Betsville pay for it?
Yeah, I think
So I just need a motion to
Need to make
approve
a
that.
motion to do
I'll
that.
make a motion to approve the bill for the furnace repair at the EMT building.
Second it.
Yeah.
Way to jump in.
Linda,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yeah.
Bill.
Yes.
Any other new business?
The only other thing I have is, Alex, do you know if the way your ordinance reads, it's like, and to me and John, it reads that you are our solicitor until you aren't, like, we don't have to.
That was my
review you.
understanding. Nope, I don't think I have to be.
Because we used to have to do that with Rick, so.
Yeah, we used to have to
wanted
do it
make sure.
yearly.
I just
with
made
Rick,
one
and that's-
that basically said I'm the solicitor until I'm not the
That's,
solicitor.
that's what we thought, I wanted to make sure, okay.
We get tired of
We
it.
can-
Yeah.
We can use and abuse him.
Sorry. I put
Which
you on the
time he
spot.
won't be the
This
solicitor.
or anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's all I have.
Okay. I guess one other thing I wanted to present to the council, just think about, I'm not sure what we gotta do to do this, but I can ask you, I think we need to develop an economic development group or something like that. Does that have to be a separate entity from the council? How does that work to do it correctly? So, because it's.
I don't know, I'd have to look it up, but I
So
would think
we
so.
might have to create a like legal
Yes.
entity and all that stuff by itself, maybe have a board. I'm just saying that, just looking at opportunity with the park and all that stuff, and I'm wondering what's gonna happen with Premier out here, that if we may not consider economic board or something, trying to intervene on that and see if we can get a low-cost lease or something, we'll rent the warehouse out or something, get some kind of a, at least get something coming back in the community. Because we keep losing all this stuff when there's nothing happening, so I don't know
Yeah.
what the right thing to do. But, so I just want to, let you guys entertain that for a month or so and see what you think, and if that makes sense, and then.
I would think that's something you also can, as mayor, you can spearhead.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, I got some ideas, because I know what warehousing and stuff's going for, and I think there's plenty of it available, you know, so you could probably at least have an income coming off of it, at least pay for taxes and stuff, because right now you're not getting anything really,
Yeah.
right? So, just something to think about.
Okay.
So, just present it to the council, let you guys chew on it for a month, and then I'll see then you can tell me what I gotta do to set that up.
Yeah,
And how
yeah,
many
absolutely.
board members, is it just 3, or, you know, whatever?
Well, and I think that something like that, and again, I have to check, is something that can route through your office, for lack of a better word, as mayor,
Yeah.
as opposed to through council itself.
Right.
This would be the mayor's,
And I can present it to the council, tell them what's going on, and, you know, what things.
they advise to you, you then advise to council, and council makes the calls.
It's all yours, brother.
Oh, okay, that's what I was asking, is it mine? Yeah.
It's all yours.
Any other concerns or questions? If not, a motion to adjourn.
Hey.
So moved.
Thanks, everybody.